Grandpa had a ranch out to Blue Creek, and they raised horses, and, not cattle like most ranches, but they just run horses. And Dad had us kids around them horses, and he'd bring the colts in to Honeyville when there was yearlings and 2-year-olds, and put us kids on them. Because if they was broke to ride, they was worth a lot more than if they didn't know nothing.
Don't spend money unnecessarily. That was both of our parents' adage, you know. That they didn't have any to spend, and when we were kids, we didn't have either, you know, just like all the other kids that were raised in our generation, yeah. And what we did have, we really appreciated it because there wasn't much of it.
There was a load of bulls from Montana. The price went to hell on these cattle in, what, 1950?
1950, yeah.
And somebody sent down a load of bulls to see if they could sell them, get a little better price here in Ogden. And Dad bought a load of the bulls. And so Dad and Cal took a truckload of them bulls and went down to peddle them around Kanab. And that's how we started.
And back when we started around 1950, why, the people in Nevada had very little access to these good bulls, and we could sell them a higher quality bull for not a whole lot more than what an ordinary bull would cost them. And we was down with south of Ely, Nevada, with Myron Adams, and we stayed overnight with him. In the morning, they got us up before daylight, which was just kind of normal, but we seen this atomic bomb go off.
It was dark when it went off, and when they fired that up, it was just like day, and it just didn't go. It came and it stayed, you know.
We have a few that's like 45 years. They've been buying their bulls from us, and that makes us feel good, you know.
We got engaged in February of 1946, and we were married in July of 1946. And he started to work in the store that his grandfather had started. They made harnesses and saddles and that when it was the first part of the store. And then they went into, they carried all the things for the sheepmen and the cattlemen. After Ken and I bought the building, we moved back into the original store. And we went all Western, and that's where we got started more and less in the rodeos and in the queen contests. And our boys were there through all the time. and we couldn't have done it without them. They always had horses, and he did want them to have the horses so they wouldn't ride bulls or something like that. And so we tried to give them good horses. Ken was one of the ones that helped bring the National High School Rodeo to Ogden in 1973. It was good for Ogden, and it was good for Cross-Western too. And as we started in the Queen contest, we noticed that the girls that we had were such a nice, just such high quality girls, and they were all so pretty. In fact, one of them, a little dark-haired girl named Connie, worked for us for 27 years. We worked hard, but we played hard too. And I'm sure that he's kind of looking down here smiling, because he did love life, and I wish he was here now.
The posse was formed in 1942. It was a volunteer organization, and they were assisting the sheriff in civil matters, search and rescue, crowd control. They did escorts for different presidents when they would come and visit. And it evolved over the time, and we're now public relations for the sheriff's department. We're out there giving positive publicity to the sheriff, and also promoting horsemanship within the county and the state. I got into the posse when my dad joined. I was about 8 years old, and we'd come to drill practices and we'd ride around with them before, and then as we got a little older, 10, then we started running through practices with them. And then when I was 15, we had a need in the rodeos to have a sub, and so I started at 15 riding rodeos, and you're supposed to be 21, but I got a little head start on it. It becomes a big extended family where we all get along, and when we go camp on rodeos or trail rides, it's just like a family reunion. Everybody gets together. It's getting so much harder for people, families, to have horses and have them on their place with the price of everything going through the roof. And so horses are not near as prevalent as they used to be in the county. And so hopefully we can provide a link for these people that don't have horses and aren't around them, to help them understand, appreciate them, respect them, and grow to love them even more than kids already love horses.
When I was a little kid, I'd go out with a quarter that I had, and I'd buy something and bring it home, and my folks would say, "Don't ever do that again." But I kept doing it, and I'd sell it, and I'd double my money, and I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and I'm still doing it. Started concentrating on Utah cowboy gear, and then I started concentrating on Ogden cowboy gear, and a lot of years went by, and I accumulated quite a collection of it, and I had a lot of people, out-of-state people, wanting to buy different items and stuff from me, and I just thought, you know what, it's all Ogden, and it's going to stay here. So I finally have a place that we can use it right here in Ogden, and in this Hall of Fame historic Dill Museum that we're putting together, and I'm really excited about. Some of the items are pretty rare. I got J.G. Reed's first saddle that he made in 1882 when he bought the company, and Harm Perry's saddle, our mayor, who started Pioneer Days in 1934. I never knew what I was going to do with this stuff. I just knew that it was so neat. At nighttime, I just have to hold it and rub it and look at it and think, my hell, I'd like to know the stories behind these spurs, these saddlebags, this saddle, where's it rode? And hell, I'd have a hard time going to sleep at night thinking about it. But now, it's going somewhere. All this stuff's finally going somewhere. It's not leaving town, it's staying here in Ogden, and it's a big deal to me.